Hey everyone, I'm back with another 7 days to die base build video. This one I called Snow Fort Echo because I built it on the Ranger Station Echo foundation, as you can see on the top right up there. Oh, zombies have been here smashing stuff, or maybe the turrets there. I left the guardhouse here and the little guardrail. There used to be a sign there that said National Forest, but the zombies destroyed it. The light's still there, interesting enough. The reason I built it here was because I wanted to keep this flag and flagpole. This is a screen capture that I found online. It looks like it's from a dev instance, very grainy, and there's no ground around it, but kind of shows you the layout of it. Here's that little guard station, the National Forest sign. Here's maybe a better view of one in-game. The screen capture I found online. This is in the forest biome, not snow. There's the flag and flagpole I wanted to keep. Leveled all this stuff. I left the two fireplaces, sort of. I'll get back to that later. There's a bookcase inside the house that I left so it can spawn in books every once in a while if I'm not here. There's a generator over there at the back area that I left just for cosmetic reasons. I left the basement down here because it would be a good solid place to start building constructions and stuff like that, like a workspace area. And then I kept these two lights here by building blocks up to support them, which you can do with most of the stuff in game. Just build wood frames up here, tear down what you don't want. So I tore down this whole building, and then when you build what you want to around it, you can take the blocks down and the existing structure will remain. So those two lights stayed. I tried the same thing with the flagpole, build blocks all the way up because I wanted this to fly off the top of my main defense building. But when I tore out the bottom here, the entire piece, including the flag, all destroyed. So apparently, well, not apparently, it is. The pole and the flag is all one piece. So that was kind of a major bummer. I'll get back to that later, cover that later. So I built a moat all the way around. I know they say you're not supposed to build moats. I'll find a video if I can online of why you don't do that. I found out the hard way also. At one point during Blood Moon, the zombies decided that this was a weak spot. So they dug through there underground, came up in the courtyard here when I was defending over here against these zombies coming from this side on Blood Moon, because this is what I designed it for, is two columns here for Blood Moon defense, and they came in behind me and killed me. So back to the flag really quickly. So I wanted it flying up the top of the building up there, and when I tore it down, put a little cross here to commemorate where the flag used to be. Airdrop. I don't need that right now. This is Alpha 21 and version 1.0 will be coming out tomorrow, so I need to make a video of this before it gets erased. Alpha 21 is coming out tomorrow and experimental. So as I mentioned, I kept the basement over here for a workspace. So built all the forges here, cement mixers and stuff like that, cooking pots. This is like the generic low-end materials work area. I have the workbenches and stuff over there in the garage. I also kept these boxes here so it can spawn in supplies and stuff like that if needed, or not, sorry, at random it'll bring in stuff, which is kind of a nice surprise to come back to. Sorry. The worn roof here, I kind of like the look of that, and this little pipe I left from the original structure. These windows are from the original buildings. This pipe was going to this little water canister out here, which I thought looked kind of cool, but with the moat being outside now, I had to figure something out. So underneath it, there's the water pipes going in and out of the house, or the facility. I added this little drain here. This came out looking kind of cool. So back to the zombies digging underneath. So as you can see, the ground level is here, and that moat is about 4 squares down. So to prevent the zombies from digging underneath that, I basically filled the entire underneath it with steel, and it's a fairly decent sized structure here. So that took a massive amount of steel and iron. Oh, by the way, to fill the moat, luckily I didn't have to go too far because there's an ocean right there. I could just cruise over to get water to fill up the moat. Took over 1,800 buckets, which I'll get back to in a minute. But I wanted to show you guys this. I was lucky enough to find a huge iron deposit here right next to the base. This is the supporting wall. Just on the other side of it would be where the moat would be. So I wanted to make sure that that's supported, in addition to the columns supporting the roof there, so that the ground doesn't collapse and make a giant hole outside my base. So all this in here was all iron, so it made it much easier to build the base since I'd have to haul the iron from far away. There's a bunch of nitrate there which I didn't need for building the base, so I just left it. But all this was all iron. Just a massive iron deposit. Very cool. So back to the tour. I'm going to do a kind of circle around the base before it gets foggy, because I've done a bunch of these where it turned out getting real foggy later and it's a bummer. So the server is a vanilla install, except for one mod. We added the BDubyah's vehicle mods, which adds this cool hot rod, some motorcycles, and a bunch of really nice vehicles, including a helicopter, which is super awesome. I'll show you guys that now, so you can see a view of the base from the air. So here's this helicopter from the vehicle mod, BDubyah's vehicle mods. So I'm going to kind of fly around the base here so you can kind of check it out from the air. Beautiful view from up here. There's that. Some more snow out there, some woods over there. Upper area of the defense. When I'm working on the base, I'll usually leave one door open on the front and one door on the back, so that if the zombies come, the turrets and stuff will trigger so I'll know they're coming. Sort of an early warning thing. Luckily there's none right now. Looks kind of small from up here, but this is probably my second most complicated building that I've ever done. The oil rig with the footings going down to the bottom of the ocean was probably the hardest. Can't even really do that anymore with the changes that they made to the way the water is doing in game. It will fill up behind you if you try to put water down or building anything under the water. So that's the helicopter in the game, which is nice. These are the lights I was talking about that I left. I don't know if I covered that already. One here and one there from these two lights there. You can walk all the way around the wall on the upper area outside. Until you get to the defense area here, which is a solid structure. I'll get back to that in a minute too. But really pretty views from up here. It's part of the reason I built it up here. The fireplaces has some ember guards on the top. Let's see, going all the way down inside the house. It's a open column. You can actually hear the fire from here. I'll show you that in a minute. So if I tore the top off this, you'd actually be able to see down inside the, oh, if I could get up on top of it, there we go. This goes all the way down in. I'm not going to tear it down because I'll have to fix it later, but so we'll go inside the house in a minute. I wanted to talk really quickly about the crenellations. Did a lot of research online about how these worked. So in medieval times there was a higher area here that you could crouch down behind and shoot arrows or drop rocks down onto the people that were assaulting your castle, maybe boiling oil or I don't know, whatever they threw down on people that are assaulting keeps. So I built that all the way around. Came out looking really nice. I'm super happy with how it came out. Those windows underneath the crenellations, inside the walls there's a walkway inside there that you can walk most of the way around except for where the buildings are. So let's see, now that we're in here, let's start covering the inner structures. So as I mentioned, I usually leave one door open in the front and one door open in the back, just so I have an early warning if some zombies come. The front opening here has 6 SMG turrets, 3 on each side, with ammunition safe there to refill as needed. They're running off this gas generator here. Powers these 3. And then the wires from the generator are going underneath the door here, going to this wire relay here to power these 3 turrets, and some more ammunition there, so if any zombies come they get cut open. Like I mentioned, the wall you can run around most of the way inside. It's steel going all the way down to 4 below grade, basically 1 deeper than the moat. Back up on the wall again. That dirt road was already there going to the original ranger station. So let's get to the garage here that I showed you briefly for a second. This is the solar panel here that powers the garage. So got 3 workbenches here with supplies for the workbenches. This is basically my workshop and garage all in one. Got the car parked here, got a gun safe with some guns, ammunition for various guns in the safes. I've got more supplies upstairs, I'll show you that later. Chem station supplies for chem stations. The garage door and the lights are powered off this switch. The batteries are powered by that solar bank outside, so I can get in here and work at night if I want to. I made these little rails here, not that the garage door needs it to open in game, but I just thought it looked kind of more realistic. So if I close the garage door by shutting off the light switch, you can see it slides along those rails there. Turn it back on, it turns on those 2 lights and opens the garage door going along that rail. So that's kind of it for the garage / workshop. I have a little garden here growing potatoes and corn for meat stew, which is pretty much all I really eat in game. Super corn here for glue, and some cotton for doing the cloth, which has become super high demand in game since they changed that. As I mentioned earlier, this is where the hole I always go into to when I was building all the steel underneath. So like I said, steel all the way around except for under the blood moon columns because don't really need it there. I'm going to fill this hole back up because just OCD. It's really good how in game it redoes the texture of what was there when you fill the hole back in. So let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, so all of this here, underneath all this dirt, underneath that structure, the garage, the house, and everything except for underneath this defense area, all over here is all 4 deep steel. Some dew collectors, because water is pretty important in game. Actually super important, otherwise you'll die of thirst. Here's that generator I mentioned. I saved from the original structure. Doesn't generate power or anything like that, it's just cosmetic. It looked cool. These are the generators that actually power the defenses. One for the north row, one for the south row. All of the wiring again is underground. For cosmetics partially, but also because on one blood moon one of the exploding zombies got into here. I don't know the technical name for them. Blew up and it destroyed all of my wiring and power, so that was bad because then I got overrun because there was no more defenses. So all that stuff, the wiring is down underground there. So the way this works is, I'll shut this off here. There's some wires there and the drawbridge, that the electrical wires and drawbridge are all controlled by this switch. So I switch that, opens the door, and now those wires are active. If I start getting overrun and it's getting problematic, I have this emergency defenses here. I turn that on. It powers that dart trap, those dart traps, which are off this trigger plate. Painted it red there so you know not to go in there. And there's some SMG turrets up on the back there, which rain massive firepower down onto the zombies if I'm getting overrun. Let me give you a little short video of how this works on Blood Moon. So, as you can see, I'm about 2/3 of the way through Blood Moon here. Three-quarters, I guess. Lots of bags. Loot bags. The wires are doing their job. Realize that the wires are damaged at this point, so I need to fix them. Turn off the power over here so I don't electrocute myself. The other side, the north side, is still active. As you can see by the power there, I have to be real careful to stay on the south side of these wires so I don't electrocute myself. I decided that having to be super careful in there needs some adjustment. I'll get back to that in a minute also. And the wires are doing a great job. Oh, there's a zombie stuck in the rails. It was. Basically, the wires are to slow the zombies down. They do some damage, not enough to kill them, especially the radiated ones. It slows them down enough to where I can kill them without having to run around insanely to escape them. Too far right there. On again, so now I need to heal. And that basically gives you an idea of how those work. So let's get back to our video here. So as I mentioned, the wires are here and you have to be super careful not to step into them. So I built this walkway up here so you can go up here and repair them through the bars without having to risk accidentally touching one and electrocuting yourself. It won't kill you, but it'll hurt and it stuns you, which slows you down. Got supplies here for the repairs. in case somebody else has them, so they can grab them and repair on the fly. Because as I said, if you touch any of these wires, this north side is powered because the door's open. It will shock you and damage. That'll hurt. So on the bottom left you can see I took some damage, and if you're not careful it can kill you. Same thing on this side, basically drawbridge and wires for this side. Emergency defenses, so you can switch back and forth if you've got multiple people. One person can be picking up loot on one side while the other person is defending, so the bags don't deteriorate. You can close these doors behind you so the birds don't attack you. Here's the upper area. You can have people on your team shooting down on the zombies up here and dropping grenades in these holes here, which will fall down in there and blow up, usually about where the zombies are clustering. And I put that little slope thing there for two reasons. One, it will drop the grenades down more into the middle, and if you fall down in here, you're not stuck. You can jump out easily and continue defending or whatever. The drawbridges, I have it set these holes here so you can repair them if need be through these holes. So as you can see, I can repair the drawbridge if it's closed from up here without having to go down there with messing with the wires or the zombies and stuff. Have some drawbridge repair supplies there. Both sides you can do. And there's all those turrets I was mentioning here with ammunition here for them. Let's go upstairs. Any self-respecting keep would have supplies. So I've got medical supplies, food, explosives, ammunition for any sort of long-term siege. So I just grab ammunition and stuff when I find it and throw it in here. All these boxes are not full. I only have about a box and a half full of most of them. 7.62, 44, and shotgun. No 9mm up here because all the 9mm are spread around at the various turrets. Helmets and stuff, don't have really a lot of that. I just keep the level 6 stuff. Head armor, body armor, gloves, legs, feet. Over here we've got some more supplies. No self-respecting keep would be without a supply of beer. So these last two here are beer, and all these other kegs over here are for water storage. Add some more of the electrical wiring for the defenses and stuff. Over this side I've got tools in case need be, just various level 6 tools and a few melee type weapons that I have found and saved. And then the last row here, couldn't really think of what to put there, so I just put some storage boxes that are just cosmetic. They don't open. They just kind of made it look nice. Super happy with how the roof came out in here. This is a steel beam going across the top with a steel support here. Needed that to support the weight of the roof. There's lights up there on the top that will light at night from the generators that I have outside. Again, amazing view from up here. It's snowing a little bit. So each side has a solar generator up here with 2 SMG turrets to keep the vultures, whatever those flying, spitting birds are, off, with ammunition to refill them if needed. And then each solar panel powers a shotgun turret there that's facing out over that to prevent zombies or birds from coming in those big doors. And then some lights, one light there and one light there to light up the base at night. Here's that power generator. It's got a little water drain there to drain off the water from the roof gutter. And then I made some grating here to let the smoke from that generator get out so people don't get asphyxiated if they're working inside there. Some dew collectors. Like I said already, water is pretty important in this. There's that grating. This goes into the inner walls. Again, go most of the way around. Let's go check out this construction area here. Like I mentioned, this is where I do the basic material construction. Over there in the workshop is the higher end stuff. I remember I just ran past this on the way up. Every keep in medieval times, and of course in a zombie apocalypse, you're going to want to have some sort of place to go to pray. So there's some stained glass that's in game, came out really nice. And back to the flag, which I mentioned earlier, you can't get the flag and the flagpole back. Even the admin can't spawn or build that, but the server admin was kind enough to spawn in an American flag here and this other little flag, which I thought was kind of cool. So I just put them here in the chapel, which came out really nice. The pews and stuff are stuff you can build in the game. So let's go check out the house. So this is the living room. Nice view overlooking the garden with a little shelf in here for some plants. These bookcases I added. That door goes back into the walls. So you can get out there if you need to in a hurry, if you're sitting here on the couch enjoying the fire. These bookcases were in the original building, at least one. I'm not sure both of them were or not. So every once in a while a book will spawn in there because it was part of the original Ranger Station Echo base. The fireplace was here, but there is by default no fire in any of the fireplaces in 7 Days to Die, at least in Alpha 21 so far. There's just the fireplace with embers, which I guess would sort of make sense because all the people who've turned into zombies are not going to have the fire going. But I wanted a fire in my fireplace. So what I did was dug underneath here and put the burning barrel, which you can build underneath the fireplace here. Very careful to put blocks all the way around it, like I mentioned with the lights and stuff earlier outside, because if this little ember piece of fireplace embers gets destroyed, you cannot build that. So I was very careful, like I said, with the blocks to support it, and then put the burning barrel underneath the fire so that I have a fire in my fireplace. All of the fireplace frame here and mantle is part of what was in the original base. I left that there. The lights here and throughout the building are powered by a solar bank over there and battery bank to supply power at night. The first floor, the lights are on 24 hours a day. Oh, the crown molding in here came out super cool. I'm really happy with how that turned out. What did that say? Oh, apparently I forgot to finish those ones. Oh well. I can finish that later. So here's the kitchen. Some more crown molding. I actually finished that. Cabinetry and all that stuff is stuff that you can build. Sinks, stove, you can open the stove, coffee maker, refrigerator, you can put stuff in there. Has a little bit of a hum to it. Doesn't keep anything cold though because it's not powered. Cupboards and stuff are in-game furniture that you can build. Here's the dining room. Really happy with how this light came out above the dining room table. This fireplace was originally facing to the east on the original structure, but to make it fit the architecture that I wanted, again, you can't build those logs in game, so I had to leave those with the supporting structure underneath it. Tore down the entire fireplace. Well, that was kind of spun a little fast. Tore down the fireplace and then rotated it 90 degrees to face to the south. It was facing east, now it's facing south, so that it matches the architecture that I wanted here. And then I matched the textures and the paint stain to match the other fireplace over there. So here's the second floor, and I want to show you, as you can see, that light over there is off. I didn't want all the lights in the whole building running 24 hours a day. That's just a waste of electricity and battery, so I would have to get more batteries to power it, which are hard to find. So I put a motion sensor down there. You can kind of see that if I get up high enough, it will trigger and turn on all the lights on the second floor. You can see there's no lights in the bedroom, no light there. If I keep walking up the stairs, the lights go on. So they're all triggered from that motion sensor right there. They have some really neat paintings and stuff that you can add in the game just for cosmetics. Got bookshelves there, little sectional couch, big screen TV, nice window overlooking the courtyard, and the mountains in the distance there, or hills I should say, not that far distant. Some carpet up here in the bedroom. Bookcases, some more crown molding. Looks like a lot of this I didn't finish the crown molding. Painted it and just left it. Computer desk here with a little computer on it for playing 7 Days to Die if you have some downtime in the zombie apocalypse, because what else would you do? The bookcases came out really nice. Happy with that paint. Another big screen TV up here. Another sectional couch, some more paintings. These light fixtures, it's called a table lamp. You can't power them or light them by default in game. I found a video online, which I'll also put in the description down below, of how you can light those. It's a super genius idea, so I want to give credit where credit's due by linking the video below. Really happy with how this turned out. There's the motion sensor, follows you, a little creepy, but that's what turned on the lights upstairs. I set it on like a 10-minute timer, so once I leave the building, all the second floor lights will go off after 10 minutes, so that it again doesn't drain battery power. I think I have covered all that I want to cover. Version 1.0 is coming out tomorrow, so super stoked about that. This is my last video for an alpha version. Turn off the lights here so I don't waste electricity. Close all the doors. Closing this door. And I think I will log off here. Thank you for watching.